Welcome back to another Working Out with Erin Briggs video. Erin, what are we doing today?
Oh, great question. Today we have strength exercises, and it's primarily upper body. Now, all said and done, it's going to be about 10 minutes, including a little bit of your warm-up time, maybe even some flexibility. Like we normally do, we're going to invite you to warm up with us by doing the same or similar movements that we do during our actual workout today. So again,
Great.
you know the official
That's
workout
great.
has started when the timer, the stopwatch appears. Right now, still warm-up time, still counts as exercise, right? For right now, we're going about 30 seconds, and our first move is a single arm push. And so you'll see Maggie, we're getting ready to switch arms here. Maggie's using her band. If you have some rubber and elastic band at home, you can do the standing press. As a reminder, on every workout, either Maggie or I will show you a body weight version, something
Right.
where you don't need exercise in. If that's you, if you don't have a weight,
You don't need any equipment.
you don't need any equipment,
Right.
sorry, yeah. If that's you, you can do what I'm doing right now, which is what's called the floor press. Now again, almost anything I do, you can always mimic if you have weights too. So again, if you have a kettlebell or a dumbbell, you can do that exact same thing. If you have nothing, do that, and that will be a great start. And again, I'll show you some different options, okay? Our second exercise, really, you had your push on each arm kind of for one exercise. Second exercise is a row, and that's really it. We're going to do a push and then a pull, and you'll see Maggie again warming up with her band. She's seated. This is kind of our go-to row or pulling exercise. You can do it just about anywhere. If you have a band, you're kind of set. Again, if you have nothing, I'm doing what's called a standing or a bent over row, and again, that can work. You will feel that, especially if you're adding a little flex into it. And again, if you have a dumbbell or a kettlebell and you'd like to do a standing row like I'm doing, you totally can. You're just holding on to the dumbbell as you pull that elbow up.
You could always use like a milk jug or a weighted backpack.
Yep, you can be
or
creative with it too.
something like that too.
Yep. So again, that's just the idea for you. And then as a reminder, on strength days, we have an option at the end of our strength exercises, to kind of wrap up our circuit, to do either a core move or a rest. And the core move today is a hand to toe crunch, and you'll see us doing that right now. It's very much related to a hollow body hold. If you've been following along with us, you're kind of in a hollow position. You're just reaching towards your toes with your fingertips, right? Just trying to touch your toes. If you can touch your toes, great, but that's not actually a requirement for this one. It's just hand towards the toes. As you can see, neither Maggie or I will ever touch our toes on this one. So that's really your kind of 4.5 moves, right? So you've got a single arm press. We'll say right side, then left side, then you're going to go rows, right side, left side, and then either a break or core. And for my people that love knowing the roadmap, kind of exactly what to expect here, we are doing 60 seconds per exercise with 30 seconds of core or rest. So each round is going to last 4.5 minutes. We're doing 2 rounds today. So like I said, it's about 9 minutes of exercise. Throw in a couple of minutes of warm up here, and we're really looking at a 10 to 15 minute exercise session.
Yep.
Again, we've talked about how we can be a little fuzzy on our times, and that's okay. All right? So again, now's the time. If you need to take a break and get things ready, go ahead and do so. We're going to go ahead and start briefly here. 3, 2, 1, begin. Now I'm going to call attention to this. So you'll see Maggie again. Minute number 1, pick an arm. She's doing an overhead press. Reminder, I did a floor press that first time. I'm on my back and I'm doing this. And for body weight, there's a really interesting option. If you have a wall, and if you're in a house, you have a wall, right?
Or if you're outside, you could use a tree.
You could use a tree, a park bench, right? It could be anything. But I'm doing what amounts to what we call a wall push-up.
Yeah.
And if you're using 2 arms, it can be kind of easy, but 1 arm, it gets surprisingly challenging. And you don't always have to face the wall. In fact, I'm going to show you that you can do this from the side. And this actually gets a little more challenging. You'll see me leaning into the wall and then pushing myself away. This is a great creative way to do pushing if you don't have anything more than body weight and you don't want to do push-ups. Single arm push-ups would be really hard, right? We don't need to do those.
No.
Single arm wall push-ups you can totally do, or like Maggie's doing if you have a band overhead, or even just mimic that move with nothing, and I promise you, you're going to get a little stronger here. 2, 1, go ahead and switch sides. Nice first time on that minute. And the reminder on this first round, always, is that you're getting a feel for it. You're really making sure that what you're doing feels good and that it looks good.
Yeah.
These kind of shorter workouts, calling a 10-minute workout short is it's kind of a misnomer.
Yeah, especially when you're like on the whole time. Yeah.
Because we can go a little bit farther with this. I'll say that whenever we do just 2 rounds, I rarely will even ask you to make it feel like a workout.
Right.
It's more about getting a feel for it and just making sure that you can have great form. The
Yeah,
whole time.
speaking of form, Aaron,
Yeah.
when you're facing the wall or even, sideways to the
yep.
wall, did you just kind of put your elbow like back where it felt good?
I did. I just let it
Okay.
move wherever it needed to.
Great.
And some people will flare their elbow in or out, up or down. And again, that's fine as long as it feels good
As
for
long
you.
as it feels good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
3,
you're probably not hurting
2,
yourself if it feels good.
1, right. That's my basic rule of thumb.
All right.
Right. Most people are pretty good about that. Okay. Go ahead and switch to your row. Again, you'll see Maggie doing the seated version. I'm doing the standing version just like we did at the beginning. And my note on this one, if you are electing to go without anything, what makes this work is specifically adding that full body flex.
Yeah.
When I bring that elbow up, it's hard to see it, but I pause for a microsecond, really just a little bit, and I kind of pull my elbow into my ribs. I just tighten up for a moment, and I kind of pretend that I'm holding something really
Right.
heavy.
Yeah.
And even just pretending that you're doing that, those muscles start to engage, they start to turn on,
Yep.
and you absolutely can increase your strength and become a little leaner, look better,
Yeah.
feel better just by doing this.
Yeah,
So-
and you're not only flexing that arm, you're kind of flexing everything at that time.
Everything that I can,
Yeah.
right? Without it being distracting. Exactly right.
And if you don't, even if you do have a weight, that's something you can do when you do have a
Absolutely.
weight too. Is
Include-
kind of flex
we'll-
everything.
We'll talk about that. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and switch arms. That seated single arm row is surprisingly challenging.
Oh
isn't
yeah,
it?
you can definitely make it like it's, and that was actually something that I was trying to remember is trying to continue to flex and engage my core.
Yeah.
Even though I was definitely focused on that arm and the, I was kind of feeling that burn. Especially by that 60-second mark. It's great to do this for a minute because
Yeah.
it really does help you kind of feel like, whew, okay, yep, I'm working this muscle.
Oh, big time.
So.
Yeah. And by the way, you're almost done here. You've got about 20 more seconds. Your first 4 minutes is almost done. And a quick reminder, in about 15 seconds, we're going to call for you to either take a break or go ahead and get into that core movement. If you are choosing to do core, you're going to be on your back. You're going to start in that hollow position, and then you're going to reach your hands towards your toes. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and choose your option here.
Feel free to go get some water if that's the best choice for you.
And if we're moving too fast, pause the video.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
There's nothing
Oh, yeah.
magical about having a stopwatch that just runs, indefinitely. The idea is that the magic happens by you showing up and working out.
Yeah.
So we're
Any
glad you're
movement-
here.
Any movement is better than no movement. Right,
Exactly.
Aaron?
Good movement. Yeah, healthy movement is better than no movement. Okay, you've got about 5 more seconds. If you're ready, let's go ahead and get into round 2. You're going to start that press again in 3, 2, 1, begin. Now again, anything that I've showed you here can work. When I do body weight exercises for these videos, I'm trying to add some variety to it for those
Yeah.
people that love to do something a little bit different. So this particular time, I'm doing a single arm plank in that high position. This was hard. And
This looks insane,
right.
Aaron.
And for most people, they'll think, like, is this really a push? And oh, absolutely. If you don't know, or if you're second guessing, get into it. And
Yeah.
after 30 seconds, you will know exactly what we're talking about, how this feels challenging here. Those of you that have sharp eyes and are watching, you'll see a little toy get thrown onto the floor every once in a while.
Over by me on that side, yeah.
That's our little one chucking his toy.
He was
at
awake.
Mama.
I think you can even see his little toesies kicking.
Every once in a while,
little bit
10
there.
seconds.
Our
We
little
know most people
6-month-old.
don't watch it or just listening along, but if you hear that little clank, you know it's
Part
our
of the
little
reason
guy.
we do a voiceover
3,
instead of talking
2,
during the video.
1, switch arms. Totally. Yeah. All right, so again, you did a great job. Round 2 is about dialing it up and making sure that your form just looks awesome, right? Again, if it feels like exercise, great. I'm not concerned about that right now. I don't
Right.
want you to be that concerned about it unless it's like near your maximum, then you can dial it back a little bit, take a little break. But right now, you're just adding on to that kind of looking good and feeling good. If you felt confident with that last set, here's your time to try something a little new, try something a little harder. And again, make sure that your form feels good, that you're proud of the way that you look is one of my favorite ways to say it, right? Like, yeah, man, I look good, right? That's kind of the idea there as you're going. You've got about 15 more seconds here. And again, if you're doing a single arm plank, if you're doing a single arm push, just maintain. Hold strong. You're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Woo-hoo.
Let's do that single arm row. Now this time Maggie's gonna take the standing position with that resistance. Again, she's doing what I was doing last time, and I am gonna try the seated row, but I'm gonna do something a little bit different. This first arm, I'm gonna row exactly the way Maggie was doing. I'm just doing what we call a horizontal row. And the idea with this is that I'm still flexing. I'm still pretending that I have a fair amount of resistance, right? A fair amount of pulling my arm. And every time that elbow comes back, I am pulling hard. I'm squeezing. And again, you can get strong by doing this. Be creative, have some fun with it, and make it look good. Dial that form up just a little bit more. Realize that the end is in sight. You're close. You've got about 15 more seconds here. Stay tight. Keep looking good. 10 more seconds.
This is gonna help that underarm
Yeah, a little bit.
back
3,
in the arm, right? Is
2,
that- everybody
1. Absolutely.
Everybody says, make this go away.
All right, and 2 notes on this one. Is one, I'll follow with what Maggie said, but I'm going to draw attention to what I'm doing real quick. Last time I was doing what we call a horizontal row. Now I'm doing a vertical one. This is like doing a chin-up. I can do it seated. I can do it legs crossed, which I'll do here in a moment. I could do it kneeling. The idea is that I've just got that hand up tall, and then I'm pulling my elbow down to my body. Again, I'm still pulling tight.
Yeah.
The idea is it still should feel like exercise.
You're still kind of engaging all that core and your back
Yeah.
muscles and all
Yeah.
that. Okay.
Now, part of the reason that I love doing these pulling exercises is one, it's a human movement, right? We pull.
Right, yeah.
But especially for people who sit at desks all day
Yeah.
and we kind of have that forward slouching posture, anything where we can pull and get our back side muscles going, helps so much with our posture. Helps
Well,
so
I find
much.
too, like even having an infant, I'm
Yeah.
hunched over a
Think
lot.
about that.
Like,
Absolutely.
And even like trying to talk to the kids
3,
who are much shorter than me, I'm hunched over. a lot,
1.
so.
Yeah. We live in a cold climate. Again, we're in Minnesota, and I always laugh, but 9 months out of the year, people have that
Oh yeah.
shoulders to
Yeah,
their
we all
ears,
kinda
kind of
have
hunched up. It's a weird
Did
posture.
we tell
but
them to
it's there.
stop?
Yeah, I told them.
Oh, good.
Time for
okay,
core.
Good. Good.
Last 30 seconds.
All right,
Last
I'm like,
12
well, we're
seconds
stopping,
now.
but I don't know if we told them to stop.
Crunch if you want, or rest. And then the reminder is when we're done here, 1, give yourself a high five. 3, 2, 1. And now is the time that we do our mobility and our stretching. So the reminder is that with this particular workout, we're focusing on mobility that's around your back and your torso. And there's 2 key stretches for that. One of them is what we call seated rotation. And my reminder with this is that you're going to twist, and the easiest way we can do that is by, if you look at us, just pick a knee and put it up, right? Pick a knee and put it up. Let's say it's your right knee. Then just put your opposite arm outside of that knee and twist, right? Twist away, using that knee as a little bit of leverage. And a reminder, when we do stretches like this, is we almost always will take about a minute, and the first 30 seconds is just a hold. You're just really twisting and holding. It should feel like a stretch. Then the last 30 seconds, what we're doing now is what's called dynamic, where it's hard to see, but we're just doing this very gentle push and then relax. We're stretching a little farther and then taking that stretch away. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's switch sides. Again, pick a knee and then put the opposite arm outside of that knee and kind of leverage it. Push against it so that you can twist. This first 30 seconds is holding. And I know I say this a lot, but I'm going to bring it up again with the stretches. I like a mix of what we call static and dynamic, where we hold and then where we also push a bit. That works for me. I enjoy having a little bit of both. Some people just love static stretching. And if that's you, you don't have to join us for the dynamic
Oh, yeah.
part. If anything, just keep holding that static stretch. Some people, on the other hand, don't really feel anything by holding the static stretch, or it's too painful. They like the dynamic version. And again, we want you to choose what's best for you. So again, just kind of work through this. And the same goes for this particular stretch. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it.
Yeah. Just
That
like
being
all of our
said,
other movements.
right? This is my
exactly.
most asked for stretch. People
Oh,
love this
really?
one. Oh, this one just feels good for
Oh,
almost
that's
everybody.
awesome.
Everyone does this and they go, "Oh, I got to do this more." It's a great one.
Yeah, it does feel good. It's kind of one of those, like, any
2,
time of day, I feel like you could
1.
get into the stretch and just
Absolutely.
feel like it kind of releases some of that, I
Yep.
don't know, gunk that builds up.
For sure. And then the last practice that we do is after our stretch, we get into our assessment posture, which is our cobra or our sphinx. The quick reminder, Maggie's doing the sphinx, which is where she's laying on her forearms. It's much gentler on that low back. I'm doing the cobra where I'm pushing up on my hands. No matter which position you choose, remember you're trying to relax your backside. So specifically your butt muscles, people squeeze those when they're in this position.
Yeah.
Relax. Try
Yeah.
to just let those go. All right,
Yeah,
nice
just
job
let
today.
those go.
You finished your stretch. We're gonna wave goodbye, and I'm gonna let Maggie wrap us up.
Way to go, you guys. You did it. Woohoo. Hey, gang, thanks for joining us so much. If this is your first time with us, thanks for being here. We invite you to come back. We'd love for you to subscribe to our channel. I'm also going to link to some other playlists of videos that we've got. We've got more strength videos. We've got other cardio videos and even some core ones. We would love to have you sign up for those notifications so you know whenever we come out with a new one and you can move with us. Make it a great day, gang.